Welcome back to Match B2B Insights. I'm Benny Fluman. This is part 4 of our 6-part series on negotiation management in global B2B environments. Joining me today are Brenda and Brian Newman. In episode 1, we talked about why access is not authority. In episode 2, we looked at why signal is not stage. In episode 3, we focused on silence, body language, and how to interpret what buyers don't say. Today we're on episode 4. Organizational politics and the political deal map behind enterprise sales. Picture a champion on Tuesday saying, "It's moving. Good call, good energy, budget sounds real." Then Thursday, legal appears. Friday, procurement asks for vendor forms. Monday, security sends a 47-question review. Same deal, same product, same value. But now the deal is no longer moving forward. It's being reevaluated by the organization. Now it's fragmented, because each new stakeholder is optimizing for a different kind of safety.
That 47-question security review is so specific, it hurts. And the phrase that gets sellers in trouble is, "It's moving." Moving where? Because from the champion sit, moving might mean they like you. From procurement sit, moving means you cleared commercial terms. From legal sit, it means risk is bounded on paper. Those are not the same thing.
In pipeline reviews, this is where forecasts get fictional. Rep logs, next step completed, champion is engaged, maybe even a target close date is in CRM. But no fields for legal owner, no security status, no procurement path. So confidence gets built on one relationship, while 3 unseen work streams haven't even started. I've seen deals sit at 70% probability for 3 weeks, then suddenly slip 45 days because security entered for the first time.
Exactly. The mistake is thinking delay equals objection. Often it doesn't. Procurement is not there to love your positioning. Legal is not there to admire your deck. Security is not there to celebrate innovation. They are there to prevent downside. So if your champion says, "Everyone's aligned," I want one immediate follow-up. Aligned on what exactly? Business case? Commercial terms? Data handling? Implementation exposure? Alignment is a dangerously vague word.
Let me try to explain it back. The seller sees extra stakeholders as friction after the decision. You're saying the committee is the decision, not a postscript, the actual mechanism.
Almost. The committee is the mechanism of organizational permission. Deals don't move when one person is convinced. They move when the organization becomes safe enough to approve. A champion can create motion. They usually cannot create institutional safety alone. And that is why false progress feels so convincing. Meetings happen. Emails happen. Your internal team says, "Great engagement." Meanwhile, the buying system has not yet decided it can absorb the risk of saying yes.
And you can spot this early in CRM if you're disciplined. 3 signs. First, all notes come from the same contact for, say, 21 days. Second, next steps are seller-owned, demo, proposal, follow-up, instead of buyer-owned, like legal intro or security review kickoff. Third, stage advancement happens before new stakeholders are named. That combo is deadly. It looks clean in Salesforce until it explodes in forecast call.
That 21 days from one contact thing, I'm going to remember that. Because it sounds active, but it's basically a one-person bubble.
Right. And reps defend it by saying, "But the champion is strong." Maybe. I've had strong champions who disappeared the second procurement asked for red lines they couldn't sponsor internally. Not because they stopped liking us, because the deal stopped being theirs alone.
This is also where a lot of companies misdiagnose the problem. They say, "We need better closing." No, sometimes you need better political reading. At Match B2B, we see this constantly with companies entering US and European enterprise accounts. The offer is credible, meetings are happening, interest is real. But the team is reading enthusiasm as progress and activity as control. Those are not revenue mechanics. Those are surface signals. If you cannot map how the organization makes itself feel safe, the deal is still fragile, no matter how warm the champion sounds. This is exactly what we see with companies we work with at Match B2B. Most teams don't lose deals because there is no interest. They lose because they don't understand how the organization actually decides. That's why we built our model in 2 clear stages. First, a setup phase where we define ICP, signals, data, and messaging, and build the pipeline correctly. Then, a second phase that includes that setup, plus 3 months of structured activity where we generate real conversations and real opportunities. But the key point is commitment. We commit to targets and results, and if those targets are not reached within those 3 months after the setup, we continue working for free until they are. Because pipeline is not about effort, it's about building a system that actually produces results. So here's the framework. We call it the political deal map. 4 questions. Who drives the deal? Who owns the risk? Who slows the process? And who can quietly stop it without ever saying no publicly? If you don't have all 4, you do not have a map. You have optimism. If you don't have all 4, you don't have a deal. You have momentum without control.
That fourth one, quietly stop it, is the one people miss, right? Because nobody wants to believe a deal can die without a dramatic rejection. But that's exactly how enterprise deals die. Just calendar drift, unanswered red lines. We're still reviewing.
Yep, in field terms, the quiet stopper is often not the loudest person. It might be a security lead who never joins the sales call but controls the review queue, or a finance approver who asks one margin question and then everything pauses. In one pipeline I ran, we started tagging deals with hidden blockers suspected when close dates moved twice without a named new stakeholder. That tag alone improved forecast honesty fast.
And this is where sellers need usable questions, not theory. Ask, who else needs to feel comfortable before this moves? Ask, where do deals like this usually get slowed down internally? Ask, when legal, procurement, or security gets involved, whose approval matters most? Ask, if this stalls, what usually causes it on your side? Ask, who typically enters this process later that we haven't involved yet? And ask, if we wanted to move this faster, which function would we need to engage earlier? Those questions are not aggressive, they're diagnostic.
I like feel comfortable better than approve. Approve sounds formal and a little threatening. Feel comfortable gets at the real issue, which is organizational confidence, not just signatures.
Exactly. Because signatures are the artifact, safety is the decision. And once you hear the answers, reduce friction one stakeholder at a time. Don't send the same deck to everyone. Procurement needs commercial clarity. Legal needs bounded terms. Security needs credible handling of exposure. The champion needs language to carry your case internally. One deal, different proof.
Operationally, I'd add one simple rule. Every late-stage deal should have named contacts or named functions for all 4 political deal map roles in CRM, not TBD. Named, or at least functionally named. Driver, VP Ops. Risk owner, security team. Slow point, procurement review. Quiet stopper, legal counsel, maybe. The moment a rep can't fill one of those in, that's not admin work. That's a discovery gap. If a deal is at 70% and you cannot name these roles, the stage is wrong.
And if a founder says, but asking all this will slow the deal down, I actually think the opposite. You're trading hidden delay for visible process. Which is healthier, even if it's less flattering in the moment?
Less flattering, yes. More real, definitely. I've had deals move faster after we asked, where does this usually get stuck? Because the buyer said, actually, let's pull security in now. Better a hard conversation in week 2 than a silent freeze in week 8.
If this sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Go to LinkedIn, find me, Benny Fluman, and send me a message. Just write what you're seeing in your pipeline, where deals are slowing down, where things feel unclear. From there, we'll have a conversation and look at it together. If you don't know who needs to feel safe, you're still early, no matter what your CRM says.
That's the line. Safe enough to say yes.
And if it doesn't feel safe internally, the pipeline number is just theater.